Hello everyone, and thank you so much for joining me on this video, which is very important for the future of Iran, especially for the transition period. Honestly, what we see or what you see on video clips that come out from Iran or from the video clips from the outside Iran, like from Europe or United States or Canada, those are really different with what is going on the ground in Iran. As you saw in the past few weeks, there were some protests, and it got to a bigger and bigger protest. However, with the Islamic regime in Iran, we knew that it's going to be crackdown, and it's going to be very brutal crackdown. I wanted actually at that time to record a video about the organizing and about the field leadership of the protests, strikes, and all kind of different ways of standing up against this brutal dictatorship. However, the protests got bigger and bigger, and then the crackdown started, and unfortunately the opposition from any side of the aisle, they didn't have any organized program for such a crisis period, and people didn't know about it. I have several years experience, and that's what I did in 2019 and 2022, and I taught people, especially the young generation, how to do protest in very different places in any city. That's why in 2022 the protests in the whole Iran was going on for about 5 months, and the government couldn't crack it down because I used decentralized organization and decentralized leadership, because I know this brutal regime, they crack down any protest or any voice against the government, against the regime, especially against their supreme leader, quickly and brutally. So that's why it's very important. However, in the future, I'll do that video. I'll record it and upload it, especially in Farsi, in the other channel. But this video is about the best way and the most democratic way of choosing the leader for the transition period, and how to choose like the cabinet and the people who can work in that transition period. For my fellow Iranians, if you want, listen to the Persian version of this video, you can go to my other channel at Jinaz Irani on YouTube and X, and you can watch the Farsi version of this video, which is a little bit different because that one is more for the Iranian people who speak in Farsi, and for the Iranian people inside Iran, hopefully soon We can have internet connection and people inside Iran can see that. Now, let's talk about the situation that we are in and the best way to choose the leadership and the government for that transitional period, which is very, very important, because that period, if we don't have national solidarity from now to end of that transitional period, it's going to be a disaster. So to prevent that kind of disaster, the possible civil war, or at least civil unrest, and even the possibility of breaking Iran to different parts, then now we have to come up with the best way without any prejudice from any sides of the aisle, both from monarchy side or from the Republican side. We have to come together and, as one nation, help our brothers and sisters inside Iran to make this revolution successful. And hopefully, the United States of America, under the great leadership of President Trump, they will help the Iranian people pretty soon, and they break the leadership, the top of the pyramid, and then the rest can be handled by the people in Iran. And I will go back actually to help, just like I did in the past two uprisings in 2019 and 2022. All right. So we all know that we don't have a very strong opposition. We don't have any strong political party or any political personality who has a lot of support in Iran. That is the reality. And we have to accept it without prejudice. And we have to see the reality on the ground in Iran. Inside Iran is very important, is much more important than the outside of Iran. And when we see the reality, then we can come together and come up with a different plan. That I'm going to tell you what is that plan, which to me is the best and the most democratic way to choose a leader for the transitional period, and for the government, for the cabinet, for the governors, for everything. So in this system that I'm going to talk about, we distribute the power and leadership in different levels from bottom up. Every neighborhood will choose a team for that neighborhood, and that team will have a leader. All neighborhoods in one region, they come together and choose a team for the region and the leader for that team. And then all regions in one city, they come together and do the same. So we're up to the city level, and all cities in one province or state, they come together and they choose the highest team for the city and the mayor. And then all cities in one province or one state, they come together, those teams that they came up, like the city team and all city team in one province or state, they come together and they choose a team for that province. and then they choose the governor. And then on the other side, from the sheriff department, sheriff and police, they come together, again, from bottom up. They choose a team for each police station or sheriff station, and they choose a leader, so a commander in this case, and it goes up again to the city level and to the state level. Okay, so now we have mayor, we have sheriff, we have governor, and we're not gonna have the power vacuum when we topple the government, when we remove the regime from power. And in workplaces, exactly the same. The government workplaces, the ministries, from bottom up, from every section, every department, they come together and they choose a team, they choose a leader for that team, and then it goes up and up and up to the ministry level or the government department. But in Iran, it's called ministry. They choose the highest team for that ministry, and they choose the minister for that ministry. Because the best people who know about that ministry or that city or that province are the people who are there, who are working there. The top three level of officials, like for example in ministries, the minister and two level under the minister that they were chosen by the Islamic regime, they will be removed and their family get a relatively good salary that they can live on until the courts in the future they take these people to like Justice Department, and the court will determine what they should do with those people. The same program from bottom up in all three military forces, the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force. They do the same thing, and the three top level of all these forces, they will be removed from power, from governance of that or commanding of those military forces. They will be removed. They get some salary until the court in the future will take care of the case and to see if those people were criminal and they were working with the Islamic dictatorship regime and they were against people, then they will do something about it. So now we have mayor, sheriff, governor, ministers, and the commander of all three military forces. All organizations that they were working exclusively for the Islamic regime, for the Islamic Revolutionary, like IRGC, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, or like Basij, the militia for the Islamic regime, or the intelligence service. There are two intelligence services in Iran, one for the IRGC and one just the Ministry of Intelligence Service. Those will be dissolved, and all Islamic courts will be dissolved. Only the civil courts and the criminal courts actually should be reformed quickly, but the civil court starts working right away. And from in court system, in the justice system, the same. From bottom up, the teams, the leadership teams, and the leader for that team will be chosen by the people in the judiciary system, not the Islamic courts. There are two different judiciary systems in Iran. One is just civil judiciary system, and one is for the Islamic revolutionary government. All right. So now we have these officials. We need a temporary Congress. We have 29 different ethnic groups in Iran. As you see on the screen, people that now they know how to do the power and leadership from bottom up. They choose the number of people that you see on the screen for each ethnic group, and they introduce them to the committee, that we have a committee, as the temporary Congress of this period, for this transition era. That's going to be the Congress, and the total is 54 people from 29 ethnic groups. Now, because in Iran we have almost 50% of our population as the young generation. So from each state, which is 31 states or provinces, from each province or state, we will have one person aged 21 to 30. So they have the voice in that temporary government or this temporary Congress, which I'll tell you that this Congress actually will vote for the government and the leader. All right, so now we have the officials, we have the temporary Congress, and now we know that we have included every single ethnic groups in Iran, and from all walk of life, and from young to old generation. Okay, now it's time to choose the leader for the country, for the government. From each side of the aisle, from all those parties or whatever they call themselves, opposition, their party or their group or organization, whatever it may be, they will choose one person, and they send that person's information to the committee. So probably it's going to be 10 or 12 people from different parties, because right now, honestly, we don't have strong parties. We don't have that kind of open society that parties, like political parties, can be formed and can grow. So that's for the future. However, for these existing parties from different parts of Iran, and for like monarchies and for Republicans and these kind of opposition or groups or parties, so they introduce one person per party or group. And maybe some people actually, just independent people, they wanna participate in that election or selection. They come all together, 10, 12, 15, whatever it may be, and they debate. Now, after debate, and introducing themselves and their program and their plan for the transitional period. They will tell the people who they are and what's their plan. And now the Congress, this temporary Congress with 85 members, the highest team of each province or state, including the governors, the highest team of all ministries, including the minister, and the highest team of the 3 military forces. They will vote for these people to choose the top 3. These top 3 people, they will do another debate, and these same people that I explained, they vote again to choose one person as the leader of the government for this transitional period, one for like the second person, gonna be like vice president, for example, and one for reserve in case if something happens to these 2 top people, then we're not gonna have the power vacuum. They do this kind of election, and then the government, this temporary government, starts working. And then the temporary Congress will start on confirming the ministers and the commanders of those forces, the military forces, and they work with the government, and then they have to quickly come up with some plans for a kind of freedom of speech and freedom of political parties, and the political parties will establish to work on their programs, on their plans for the permanent government in the future. And this temporary government, Congress, they work on a kind of election in whole Iran for the Congress, like permanent Congress, and for the Senate. So now we have this system rolling and moving forward, and this permanent Congress will form, and it's going to be an election at the same time for the type of government, because in Iran some people they like monarchy and some people they like Republican, and even in monarchy side there are like different ideology, different ideas about the type of monarchy, and on the other side, in Republican side, there are some ideas for different types of Republican government. So people will choose at that time what type of government they want. And then the permanent Congress, based on whatever people choose for the type of government, they start working on the constitution. And then the parties, they will work on their programs, on their plans, and then in the future we will have a free election, free and fair election, hopefully without any flaws. That is the responsibility of the temporary Congress and the permanent Congress leader to make it happen. For a free and fair election for the party and for the leader of that permanent government in the future. Okay. During the transitional period, Iran, the government, will be a small copy of the federalism in the United States. And actually, in ancient Iran, under Cyrus the Great, we had this kind of federal system. But this federal system in the transitional period will work based on the provinces, not based on the ethnic groups. So it's going to be 31 provinces or 31 states, because the people from any state, any city, they understand the problems in that city and that state much better than the other people from other states. And if we go with the same central government, with all power in the hand of that central government, and they choose for the provinces and for the states and for the cities, the people that are not familiar with the problems in that city or state, then we're gonna get the same old problem as usual. So during that transitional period, it's going to be a federal government based on the state. So we're going to have 31 states, and they work on their income, on their problems in that state, until in the future, in the free and fair election, people will choose what they want. And to me, this is the best way and the most democratic way right now to choose a leader and keep the national solidarity and keep the integrity of Iran. We respect all our neighbors, all the countries in the region. We respect United States and all other countries. We're not enemy of anyone, and we get help from the other nations. So that is the best way that I think everybody from each side of the aisle, they should come together and go with this solidarity, the national solidarity, for shaping a temporary government for the transitional period until we will have a free and fair election. In the future, I will talk more, and I really appreciate your ideas and your constructive criticism. And if anyone has any better plan, go ahead and talk about your plan. Show us that your plan is better. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully with the help of all Iranians inside and outside of Iran, all free nations, and especially the United States of America, we can make this happen, and we can go through this very difficult period of our nation successfully. Thank you so much for your attention, and see you on the next video.